I was a little bit skeptical when Tensura first got shown off, but man, did GS Global do it justice. Ladies and gentlemen, it is currently midnight on the 7th, and new information just dropped regarding the Tensura collab. By new information, I mean every piece of information we could possibly ask for just got released. So without further ado, hey, we're not going to delay any longer. I'm pretty excited about all this, so let's get right into it. This is the crossover roadmap that we are going to be having, and as you see here, this is when we're going to be getting every single part of the slime crossover. As you see, with the original slime stuff will be happening on January 13th, the Christmas slime stuff will be happening on January 24th, and then finally the New Year's slime stuff will be happening on February 3rd. Kind of a month late, but it is what it is. Still, you guys know I'm happy because you see what's at the bottom right there. The mines return, baby. You gotta love it. On top of this as well, all the old equips are going to be back, and all of the units, of course, are back and better than ever, which is great. And by better than ever, what about we talk about them? We did talk about the Christmas units a little bit in yesterday's video, and those guys look pretty good, but I wish that they would have made videos about the others instead, because the other characters got some massive buffs. Well, except the first one. So the first one is going to be the boy Human Rimuru, the regular old Rimuru, you know. This man's been in the game for so long, but he got some much needed buffs, as you see here. He now has a brand new ability that gives him equipment CT speed. This only is 5% though, which, not a lot of people gotta notice that. He also now has art gauge tied to his skill, which is extremely needed because before then it did nothing apart from just fire damage. And his art now heals more, and his true art got a modifier buff, plus he also got a arts per second buff because now he gives his allies 4 art gauge per second instead of 3 arts per second. Overall, Rimuru didn't get the best of buffs out of everybody, I'm not gonna cap, but it did make him a lot better at just being an arch general. It's still gonna be used for mainly his niche of just stats, immunity, and heals, but also being able to offer you some art gauge here and there. Moving on to the next character, which this is huge for all of my people out there that are reflect nukers and nukers in general. Malim actually got some massive buffs. So she has a brand new ability, which is additional attack level 5. This gives her 50% more damage during break. She also got more damage on the art, and the effect duration on her art went from 4 seconds to 10 seconds, and the break is now 2300 to 3500. If you don't know what this is, that is the reflect, ladies and gentlemen. As you see, multiplies and returns damage to enemies for 10 seconds. That is a huge, and I mean a huge buff. Some people don't understand how big that is, but that is insane for anybody that likes to reflect nuke with the girl Malim. And then finally with her true art did get some pretty nice buffs, buffing up her true art from 44k to 60k, and also increasing the break to 7,000, which I guess, hey, Malim's a breaker now. Malim looking really good, very strong, definitely going to be a really good break nuker, break attacker, and also going to be a really good reflect nuker. I mean, she already was a pretty decent one, but Duran was just overall better. But now I think that she's going to be able to kind of compete with Duran a little bit, not overtake him, but definitely be able to compete and be able to do some stupid stuff, especially those people who run like double Malim and all that and reflect nuke like so many things. You guys are going to have a field day with this buff. Next is my boy Benny Maru, and I love whenever they give my boy Benny some buffs, man. He's one of the coolest characters from Slime in my opinion. He has art gauge up level 5. He gets 50 art gauge at the start of the quest no matter what, because why not? Amazing. I love it. On top of this as well, he also got a boost in his art gauge that's given from his skill. It now went up to 30, which is insane. 80 art gauge pretty much at the start of the quest. His arts damage got buffed to 23,000, and his true art damage got buffed to 62,000, and now he has a 100% chance to burn the enemy, and his magic resist debuff went to 80%. His debuff duration went to 20 seconds. Benny looking pretty freaking strong, man. Now, we did talk about the Christmas units, but I will just go over them real quick just in case if anybody didn't watch yesterday's video. So here is Senta Malim. Senta Malim, nothing really crazy with her. Her HP requirement on her passive actually got buffed to where now it only takes 50% or more of her HP in order to get the effect of her passive, and her skill got buffed in terms of the art gauge that she gives herself, and she got a duration buff and some modifier buffs. Santa Xion definitely getting the biggest buff out of all of them, at least in regards to the Christmas version of the slime units. Pretty much just gave her more damage, and that's perfectly fine. That's literally what she wants to do. She's actually an insanely strong nuker and kind of like a worse version of Simon now, which isn't a bad thing, let me say. That's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing whatsoever. And then, of course, we got the boy Christmas Rimuru that got absolutely cut. Look at these buffs, bro. Look at these buffs. Like, come on now. What is this? Now, moving on to the New Year's characters, which there's only 2 of them. We have New Year's Rimuru and New Year's Malim. But let's talk about New Year's Rimuru. New Year's Rimuru, his upgrades entail tell that his art now gives more status to all allies. It went from 30 to 35%, and his true art got buffed from 50k to 60,000. His damage increase went up to 60%, and his buff duration went to 60 seconds. I think that this isn't the worst buff that they could have gave him. I think they could have went a little bit crazier in terms of the damage ups and everything, but I think this is pretty good, and he's still going to be great. I like him a lot. He's still a cool unit. He also has 100% crit rate as long as he's not afflicted by a status element, so he's still vibing. He's going to be a good character, especially with these new changes. Finally, we have New Year's Malim. This is a big one right here. I love New Year's Malim myself. She's a great character, and as you see here, she got a few buffs. Her attack buff went up to 50%. This is a passive attack buff that she just gives to everybody, by the way. Her normal art damage went to 20,000. The accuracy increase on it went to 50%, and the damage increase on it went to 80%, and the true art damage went to 85,000. This is kind of similar to just Santa Shion, in my opinion, where she just got more damage, which is perfectly fine. That's literally what she wants to do. She's one of the better, like, nuking supporters, I guess you would say. Does a lot of damage, but able to support the team, but also able to kind of nuke herself, and definitely is great for any light nuke comps out there that want to use New Year's Malim. And that's pretty much it in terms of all the buffs. Me, myself, I'm liking them. I think they're all great, but you know what even makes them better, ladies and gentlemen? The fact that all of them will be Luck 120. Yes, you heard me right. Tensura is becoming Luck 120 units, which now this just solidifies why was Shaman King a rerun crossover. They don't bring 120 Lucks on their second time around. What are you doing? But making all these characters 120 Luck is such a massive buff to each and every single one of them, and you already know we're going to be grinding this whenever it drops and making sure that we get all of the slime units to Luck 120. That's pretty much it in terms of the slime crossover. Everything else is going to be coming to the game is pretty much going to be the same stuff we got before in terms of equips and everything. I don't think any of the equips are getting buffed, but of course none of that has been detailed yet, so we'll have to wait and see. But if I had to guess, I don't think any of them will be getting buffed because all of them are still pretty good, so I'm pretty sure they'll leave those equips as is. Either way, I'm happy. I like the buffs. I like what I'm seeing here. I like the 120 Lux, and I am personally excited for slime. Will I be summoning on any of the banners? Probably not. I mean, I pretty much have all the characters I want from slime. The only ones I'm really missing are like Malim, New Year's Rimuru, and Santa Rimuru, but I don't really want them like that. I think I'll be perfectly fine saving my crystals and just waiting. Either way though, tell me what you guys think about all this stuff down below in the comments section. You guys can only expect live streams, unit showcases, and everything else whenever all this stuff drops, and hey, I can't wait. Either way though, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you all again for coming out, and last but not least, you guys already know, don't forget to drink water.